So what does it really mean to be at peace? I mean, it sounds like such a simple question, right? But the answer, well, it gets to the very heart of how we think about society and even our own human nature. So let's really dig into it.
And this, right here, is the big question we're tackling. Is it enough for the bombs to stop falling and the guns to go silent? Or does a true, lasting peace demand something way, way deeper? This single question is going to frame our entire journey today. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the classic definition of peace, then we'll introduce two concepts that honestly change everything. From there, we'll dive into why justice is so important, take a look at our own human wiring, and finally, land on this idea of peace as something we're always working on.
Okay, let's get started with the definition that most of us probably have in our heads. You know, historically, when people talked about peace, they were almost always talking about one very specific thing.
And this is it. The traditional view is all about what's not happening. No fighting, no conflicts. It's the kind of peace you get from treaties and ceasefires. It's about stopping the immediate visible destruction. And look, that is an absolutely crucial first step. But as we're about to see, it is nowhere near the whole story.
Right, that's the million-dollar question. Can a country really truly be at peace if huge parts of its population are suffering under oppression or facing massive inequality or just aren't being treated with basic human dignity? This is where that simple definition just starts to break down.
So, to get a better handle on all this, experts have given us two incredibly useful ways to think about peace. Understanding these two faces of peace is pretty much the key to this whole conversation. Let's break them down.
So first up, we have what's called negative peace. Think of it like peace with a minus sign. It's defined by the absence of something bad. In this case, direct violence. It's the silence after the storm. It's essential for sure, but a lot of the time it's just a pause, not a real solution.
And then you have positive peace. And this is peace with a plus sign. It's not about what's missing, it's all about what's present. It's about having things like fair laws, real opportunities for everyone, a sense of social trust, and respect for human rights. This isn't just about stopping a war, it's about building a society where a war becomes almost unthinkable.
This chart just lays out the difference so clearly. Negative peace is that short-term tactical goal. You got to stop the bleeding. But positive peace, that's the long-term strategic vision. It's about healing the underlying injury and building a truly healthy society. One is just a state of non-war. The other is a state of genuine human flourishing.
Okay, so this is so important. Why do we need to push for that harder, positive peace? Well, because without justice, any peace you have is basically built on sand. Injustice is the kindling for the next fire. This quote from our source material just says it all, doesn't it? You can have a lid on things, you can keep order for a while, but if people feel like the whole system is stacked against them, those feelings don't just vanish. They simmer right below the surface, just waiting for a reason to boil over. And this slide shows us exactly how that happens. It's like a predictable chain reaction. You get huge gaps in wealth and opportunity, which naturally leads to resentment. That resentment starts to eat away at people's trust in their government, in their justice system. And once that trust is gone, the whole thing becomes unstable. The risk of conflict just skyrockets. See, justice isn't some add-on. It's a structural necessity for a lasting peace. So this all brings us to an even deeper, more philosophical question. Is this whole struggle for peace just part of the human condition? I mean, are we naturally peaceful creatures? Or is peace this fragile thing we have to build and protect every single day?
Well, on one side, you've got the argument that peace is our default setting. We're social animals, right? We survive for millennia by cooperating. Just think about your day-to-day life. The vast majority of your interactions with other people are peaceful. We seem to be wired for things like empathy and fairness.
But then, you pick up any history book, and it tells a very different story. A story full of conflict, competition, and war. And this point of view argues that peace isn't natural at all. It's this incredible fragile construction, this delicate system of laws and diplomacy and social rules that we build to keep our more competitive, aggressive instincts in check.
So where does that leave us? Well, the most convincing answer seems to be that it's both. We have these deep-seated instincts for cooperation, but we also have them for competition and conflict. So peace isn't a natural state we fall into, or an artificial one we impose. It's a dynamic balance. It's an ongoing project that depends entirely on the kinds of institutions we build and the choices we make day in and day out.
And that leads us straight to our final big idea. If peace is a balance, then it can't be a destination. It's not a place you get to and then just put your feet up. It's a continuous, never-ending process of building, maintaining, and repairing.
And there's a really important moral dimension to this. You see it in philosophies like the Southern African concept of Ubuntu, which is often translated as, "I am because we are." It gets to the heart of it. Peace isn't just about systems and politics, it's a moral promise to see the humanity in each other, to recognize that my well-being is completely tied up with yours. It's about actively cultivating empathy and respect.
So we've come full circle. True, deep, lasting peace isn't one or the other. It has to be both. We need that negative peace to stop the immediate pain and suffering. But to build something that will actually last for generations, we need that positive peace, that active presence of justice, opportunity, and dignity for everyone. One is like the emergency brake. The other is the engine that drives a healthy society forward.
And this last thought really captures the main takeaway. If peace really is this giant project that we are all building together, brick by brick, then it's not just something for presidents and diplomats to worry about. It's in our hands, too. Which leaves us with one final question to ponder. What's one brick that you can lay today?